Hi there everyone, this is Heather Marks from the High School Counseling Office with some information about the diagnostic testing program that was presented recently to students during a flex time session and parents at a variety of information sessions. You can see that university admissions testing, the SAT or the ACT, is used in country systems around the world. The take-home message from this slide is to show that any student who is remotely considering applying to an institution in the US or Asia should consider preparing for these exams, as most institutions require a standardized test score as a part of the admissions process. The rest of country systems may accept or recognize an SAT or ACT score relative to other high school academic profile items. For the UK, Australia, and Canada, SAT or ACT scores are required if you are not able to complete the full IB diploma program. Standardized test scores can also be used to boost your chance of admissions in certain course programs in different country systems. The punchline is, folks, that I have mentioned the SAT or ACT. I'm here to convince you that you only have time and energy and the need to perform your best on only one. Because Saturday mornings are really for this. Testing happens at 7:30 in the morning on Saturdays. The goal is to take as few tests as possible to get the scores that you need to open doors to your university goals. I'm going to talk now about the differences between the two exams, and the only way to determine which test is right for you is to take practice tests. It's never appropriate to practice on an official sitting where your score will stand in your record forever. So I'm going to go through now some of the key differences between the SAT and ACT, and then data on practice tests, and then your experiences with these kind of caveats about the way the different tests are administered help you choose the test that's right for you. What stands out really importantly between the two exams is a difference in pacing and time management. On the whole, the SAT is much better for students who are slower processors. Those students who read slower, do math at a slower pace, will benefit from more seconds per question across all sections. However, being packed with questions, the ACT has been said to be less taxing, as on the whole, the vocabulary and the language used is less sophisticated. Data do bear out that the ACT is better for second language learners of English. Both sections do have a passage-based reading section. You can see here that the SAT reading section is twice as long, but there aren't nearly the equivalent number of increase in questions. So although you need to have quite a bit of stamina and endurance to manage 65 minutes of passage-based reading, you can see that the demand, the number of passages, and the number of questions is far fewer than the pace required at the ACT. Science? Maybe, or no thanks. The ACT is the only exam that has a science section. But let me be clear that it is really not a science section. It is in fact a reading comprehension section with science topics. So in fact, I think the ACT is quite strong for readers because you get a bonus section of science. This section is quite easy to train for once you understand how it is constructed. So you shouldn't feel whether you are strong or not in science. You need to take diagnostic tests to help show whether you can find some success in that section. Both exams have a math section, and in the 2016 redesign of the SAT, you can see that there are some important differences that may make students perform better or worse on one or the other. Both are strongly emphasizing algebra, some geometry. ACT has some trigonometry questions where the SAT has a dabbling in data analysis. You can see on point number 2 that a calculator is allowed for all problems on the ACT, but in the redesign of the SAT, a full third of the problems on the math section on the SAT do not allow a calculator. So if in fact you're strong at mental math or at strong solving math by hand, the SAT might be the right choice for you. The ACT has multiple choice questions across the entire section, but the SAT has a full quarter of problems that do not provide multiple choice answers. They're called grid-ins, where you need to provide the answer from scratch. And you can see there at the bottom that the ACT will not provide you simple formulas such as area or circumference of a circle, Pythagorean theorem, special right triangles. But if in fact you blank out and students need a little bit of help on basic formulas, the SAT does provide a formula bar. Both exams test the understanding of English grammar. You can see the generous cushion of time on the SAT side. Both address about 16 different topics in grammar that, if kids really put their head down, can train quite successfully for this. And finally, the essay. They have both a similarly paced essay, but quite a different prompt. The SAT essay will feel like maybe a timed critical analysis assignment in their current high school English class. There's going to be more of a traditional prompt, maybe with an excerpt from a kind of a traditional work with a big theme like love or courage or bravery or freedom, and you're supposed to develop a thesis and evidence, etc., etc. The ACT doesn't feel nearly as challenging. They are going to give you a statement, likely about something related to school, such as students should attend school year-round, or students should wear school uniforms until grade 12. And they'll provide you perspectives on that, and then they ask you to evaluate those perspectives and then share your own. And what student doesn't like to write about their own perspective? So the ACT essay feels more approachable and more formulaic. So as you can see, that there are important format difference, important pacing differences, important content differences. So which exam is best for you? Our goal with the Nido diagnostic testing program is to not make it a guess, a wish, a suggestion about a sibling, or a mythology about whether a certain institution prefers one or another. Please believe me that every accredited institution in the US accepts the SAT and ACT equivalently. So the goal is to choose the test that is the best for you when you can get your highest score. That's it. So how do you do that? You practice in advance. And this is also based on the need to test and to the need to have a score. This is all about opt-in, and this is all related to your university goals. So just to quickly review, who should be paying attention to the rest of this webinar are those students interested in the USA and Asia, and any students who will not be pursuing the full IB diploma program who are interested in USA, Australia, or Canada. Here's the diagnostic testing timeline for this year. I'll first talk about grade 10 and then talk about grade 11. Grade 10 students should be just getting their feet wet, just exposing themselves to the format of these exams, maybe the content, but not to get caught up in the need to study or the need to choose or the need to prepare, etc. This is just about exposure. So grade 10 students are encouraged to sit the official practice SAT, the PSAT, and the official pre-ACT. These are half-length tests, 2.5 hours. The full length is over 4.5 hours. And these are issued by the test makers and will allow students who nobody should be preparing. You should have breakfast and sleep well the night before and bring your best effort to the exam so that we can get the results back sometime in December and have a discussion with grade 10 students about what happened. And then we'll come back around to them in grade 11 when revisiting the standardized testing question becomes more real and more serious, as it will become part of their university planning. So for grade 11, here is our suggestion that students in grade 11 take again the official half-length exams, the official PSAT and pre-ACT, to see how they can leverage some experience and some additional content knowledge that they've gained in the past year. But the real important addition, and if students are going to choose only some of these 4 practice opportunities, we recommend they ramp it up and take the full-length diagnostic test for ACT and SAT. And you can see the dates offered on the slides. It's really important that students understand what it feels like to take a full-length test, to have data that represents a full experience in the exact testing environment where students are going to take this seriously. Again, no preparation is required, but students need to take this seriously. So I do know that it was very difficult to find any time in the calendar that students could fit in these additional hours for testing, but we did our best. You can see that at the bottom there, an alternative test date for makeup full-length diagnostic tests will be on Thursday, November 22nd. And then a special opportunity for juniors is to work with a truly stellar test preparation company called Arbor Bridge. They're based in Southern California, but their tutors are all over the world. And I have found their level of expertise, their teaching strategies, their ability to develop rapport with students is spectacular. And they do offer, their full complement of services, but the way that Nido has partnered with Arbor Bridge is that for those 11th graders that are taking full-length diagnostic SAT or ACT exams, will get a detailed score analysis from Arbor Bridge with a customized lesson plan for each student. And then the real benefit is each student will get a 2-hour one-on-one tutoring session to review the results and develop the plan ahead. This will happen in November. So by December, juniors can prepare their plan, develop their path, and begin studying so that test preparation becomes a part of their normal academic routine beginning in December. And then each family can pursue the test preparation plan of their choice. There are many free online opportunities. There are very affordable books to purchase online. We will be hosting a campus-based program as a part of the Summer Institute in January, etc. Here is the official timeline for juniors. How many times do I recommend that students take these exams? More than 1 time, fewer than 5 times. Very few students get the test score that they need the first time, and there is absolute testing fatigue and law of diminishing returns as students prepare for and try for a 4th and a 5th time to gain a little bit of advantage. The sweet spot is usually 2 times with a 3rd if needed. So juniors should be tracking towards coming back if they're going down the ACT path to take a test in April 2019, June of 2019, and September of their senior year if they need it. If they're going to pursue the SAT path, their first test should be in March, their second one either in May or June, and if they need a 3rd, October or November. You'll see a little reference to subject tests, which are content-based exams required often by the most selective institutions in the U.S. to help students further prove their competency in certain core areas of the academic curriculum, and those students take those exams either in October or November. The message is this, folks: more is not more. Testing and test preparation needs to be right-sized. You need to understand how it is a part of a more comprehensive academic profile that helps a school assess the academic fit of a student, but long before standardized test scores are considered, students are evaluated on the rigor of the curriculum in the high school, the grades in those core courses, then test scores add a layer to that, IB predicteds if that's part of the program, and then all the other qualitative layers that come around. So students do not need to begin preparing for standardized tests in 10th grade. Students do not and should not be taking the tests as many times as possible to get the best score. The goal is to develop your university plan and prepare for the exams at the same time to understand what score is going to work for you. So we are very excited, Mr. Lally and I, to help students prepare, pay it forward, spend a lot of quality time in this diagnostic testing phase to get you on the right path, to get students the score that they need to help them achieve their university goals. We look forward to a month of diagnostic testing and getting kids on track to prepare for the official exams in semester 2 of their junior year. Thanks for listening.